Yeah, because I have also done 3 server and
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Same thing, right? Same.
I can share a screenshot. Mm.
Okay.
Actually, Akash, I have created WinServer 1, WinServer 2, WinServer 3 VMs.
Mm-hmm.
And for WinServer 1, I used AVRG1 for resource group AVRG1. And for WinServer 2 and WinServer 3, AVRG2 I used.
Okay.
While checking availability set, only if I have opened through WinServer 1, it is showing only WinServer 1 only.
Mm-hmm.
If
Can
I
you please share
open
your
through,
screen? Can you please share your screen?
one second. Are you visible with my screen?
Yeah, I can see this. I can see your screen.
Yeah. First with the WinServer 1, I have created WinServer 1, WinServer 2, WinServer 3.
Mm-hmm.
For that AV set 1, it is showing only WinServer 1 is running like
Can
that.
you mute that phone? That no
Yeah,
noise is
yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is availability set one. Okay. Can you search for availability set on the top, on the middle main search bar? Middle search middle one. Search for availability sets. Yeah, that is the one. First one. Services. Yeah. So you have two availability sets in two different resource groups. That
Yeah.
answers your question. That's it. Okay. So whatever is on your resource group AVRG2, those VMs are part of this availability set. The one which is the one that is WinServer 1 is part of AV set 1, which is on AVRG1.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That was your question?
Yeah, that is my question.
Okay,
If I
fine.
have, if the resource groups are all same for all the three VMs, it is
Hmm.
showing all the three VMs.
No. What was it? Just come again.
If for AVRG2 resource group is there, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
AVRG2.
I have used this resource group for WinServer 2, WinServer 3, and WinServer 4.
Okay.
Then, if I open AV set 1, it is showing all the three.
That is because you have created, so whatever resource group you create, that only that availability set it will show.
Okay.
Okay,
That,
that
that is
is,
my question. Yeah, that is
yeah,
my
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah. Now I am clear.
okay.
Shall I stop sharing my
Yeah,
screen?
yeah, you can stop sharing. I have started sharing my screen. Let me know once you're able to see it. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, guys. So moving on. Yesterday we were discussing about the disks. Okay, so there are two types of disk: OS disk and data disk. Okay, so OS disk is something which is without the OS disk your VM cannot run. Okay, and data disk is something where it is optional, but you will have to put in data. Okay, so I will quickly RDP into this particular virtual machine which we created yesterday. Okay, I'll just show you before adding data disk. Okay, so I have not created or added any data disk into my virtual machine. Okay, I have just created a VM. Okay, this VM was created yesterday. I have created a Windows Server VM. Okay, and I have not added any data disk. Okay, so what we are going to do in the first part of the class today is we are going to have two things. Okay, one is data disk, how we are going to add it. Okay, how we are going to add it, that is two methods. One is at the time of creation, that is one type. The other one is after creation. Okay, so these are the two things two ways in which you can add a data disk while creation or even after creation. So both the methods are possible. The second part is once we attach the data disk, okay, data disk to the VM, what needs to be done in the virtual machine, that is in the OS. Okay, what are the steps that we need to do in the OS in order to initialize the disk? Okay, we have attached it, okay, but it is not initialized. So I will be showing a demo wherein I'll take a Windows server, okay, and I will show you how to initialize that particular disk. Okay, so we already have this particular virtual machine. It's quite simple. So we are going to RDP into it. So paste the public IP, click on connect, give the username and password. Okay, all these things we know already. Okay, this is how you RDP into a virtual machine. Okay, so as of now, I do not have any disks. Okay, if you see the disks here, I have no disks attached, no data disk. Obviously, OS disk is there, which is 127 GB capacity. Okay, so I will just show you before adding the data disk what is the um, server state or what shows in the file explorer on the virtual machine. Okay, inside the virtual machine, what exactly it shows. Okay, so let this load. Okay, meanwhile, what we can do is we are going to add the data disk from here. Okay, we are going to add the data disk from here, wherein you can either attach it from an existing disk. If there is any disk which you already have, you can go ahead and attach it. Okay, or you can create a new disk. Okay, depending on your requirement, what you need, you are going to do that. Okay, so this is the virtual machine. Okay, this is the virtual machine. Here you can see that the file explorer, there is only C drive, which is my 127 GB disk. Okay, obviously I have something called temporary disk. Okay, which is used for paging. Okay, temporary disk is something which you will not be using. Okay, it comes along with the virtual machine size. Okay, whatever is your size of your virtual machine, with that you get a temporary disk capacity. Okay, always remember that the temporary disk will be twice the size of the RAM which you have. Okay, in most cases. On this case, it is not. Okay, I know, I do understand it is not for this case, but most cases, I'll show you the size of the virtual machine. You will see what would be the temporary disk. So this is 3.5 GB of RAM, right? So the temporary disk is 7. This is 8. This is 16. So it is always the temporary storage will always be the twice the size of the RAM of your virtual machine. Okay, it is 4. Sorry, it is 8. This is 16. This is 4. This is 8. Okay, only for this case it is 4 times, but usually it is twice the size of the RAM of your virtual machine. Okay, so temporary disk, it is basically used for paging purpose. Okay, that means you can imagine your temporary disk to function like a RAM. Okay, it is like an additional RAM to your computer. Okay, so temporary data is stored on through this particular disk. Okay, once you reboot it. Okay, once you reboot this particular VM, the data in the temporary disk will go away. Okay, it will not be there. Okay, it's just like your RAM. Okay, you reboot it, your RAM state will never be preserved. Similarly, your temporary storage will also be gone once you reboot this particular virtual machine. So that is why they have already put a warning saying this is a temporary disk. Do not store any data. There is no way you can recover it and everything. Okay. So if you want to learn more about temporary disk, you can go to this particular link. You will understand the reason why or what basically your temporary disk is going to do. Okay. But there are only three types. One is data, the other one is OS, and the other one is temporary disk. Okay, since we already have seen what is a temporary, so what is a OS disk, and you now have seen the temporary storage. Okay, this is the OS disk, this is the temporary storage. Now we are going to add the data disk. Okay, before adding, also I will like to show you the disk management section. Okay, disk management section is basically used to initialize the disk. Okay, whatever disk you are going to add, okay, you need to initialize it here. Without you initializing it here, there is no way you can attach the disk. Okay, so disk management, search for disk management, you'll get this particular thing, create or format. So format hard disk partition. So this is my disk management. I already have a 127 GB storage, okay, and I already have a 4 GB temporary storage. These are the two things. Now, I am going to add the data disk. I'm going to add the data disk. So let me do that. Okay, I'm doing the second way wherein the VM is already created and I am attaching a data disk. Okay, so I'm going to click on attach a new disk, disk name, disk one, premium SSD. Okay, premium SSD, 4 GB capacity. Okay, let me put it as 5 GB capacity. Okay, and I will click on save. Okay, so I've created a premium SSD disk with 5 GB capacity and I have clicked on save. Now let's see what happens here. Okay, so let us just wait. Actions, refresh. Let's see. Do we see it yet? Yeah, done. Okay, this is the 5 GB. Do you see how quickly we were able to do that? Okay, that is how quick Azure is. So basically this is 5 GB capacity. It says that it is not initialized. Our job is to initialize the disk. Okay, so click on initialize disk. You will get two options, either MBR or GPT. Okay, depending on what the data size you will choose. Okay, usually it is MBR for smaller data. Anything about 2 TB, you'll be using GPT. Okay, so MBR is the one which is older one. GPT is the latest one. GPT can be used for any data, or it is advised to use for any data which is over 2 TB. The size of the disk being over 2 TB, you will use GPT. Otherwise, you are going to use MBR. So click on OK. So this is using master boot record. This is an unallocated state. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to right click here, click on new simple volume, click on next. Okay, and this is your drive letter. You can choose whatever drive letter you want. So you can choose the drive letter, the volume name. Okay, you can give a volume name. So data disk one. Okay, and you can either perform a quick format or you can just leave it as it is and click on next. Okay, and finish. Once this is done, your disk will be initialized here. Okay, yes, so this is data disk one, which is drive letter R. Okay, so basically what I have done is I have created a data disk, attached it to the virtual machine. Okay, so the size is 5 GB and you can also see that in the virtual machine from the inside the OS. Okay, so this is how you attach a disk and this is how you initialize it for a Windows virtual machine. For Linux, the way you do it is a bit difficult and it is different. Okay, for that you will need knowledge on Linux. Okay, so if you have knowledge on Linux, you just you can give it a try. Okay, but if you need to know Linux a bit in order to attach the data disk on Linux virtual machine, since Windows is all graphical, you can easily do it with this particular step. Okay, so this is how you create a data disk and this is how you attach it to the virtual machine. Okay, moving on. The next, any doubts till this point? Anything which you're not clear?
It's clear.
Okay, good. So the next topic, what we are going to discuss is, regardless of whether it is a OS disk or a data disk, we have an option called snapshots. Okay, so a snapshot is nothing but it is a point in time. Okay, whatever time you're taking, point in time backup of your disk. Okay, whatever disk you have, it is a point in time backup of your disk. Okay, that is basically your snapshot. Okay, so whatever disk you have, you can take a snapshot of that particular disk. Okay, and then you can use it for your requirements. Okay, so if something goes wrong in the future, your OS gets corrupt or it gets attacked by a virus, okay, what you can do is you can restore it from a previous point and you can use from that. Okay, so that is the reason why you create a snapshot of your disk. Okay, so what I will do here is I will click on this particular OS disk. I will take OS disk snapshot. Okay, so Azure is intelligent enough to identify whether the disk is OS disk or data disk. Okay, so it will automatically identify. Depending on that, it will give you different options. So what I'm doing right now is I am creating a snapshot using the OS disk. I will repeat again. I clicked on this particular disk. Okay, I go to that particular disk, create snapshot. Okay, I click on create snapshot. Okay, give it a name. Okay, snapshot one for OS disk. Okay, I gave it a name, snapshot one for OS disk. It is a full snapshot. Okay. And encryption, I'm leaving as it is. Networking, I'm leaving as it is. Click on review and create. Okay. So basically I am creating a snapshot of the OS disk, and what time I'm taking at 6:46. That means whatever the state it is currently in, whatever it is there currently in, it is going to be taken. Okay. The snapshot is being taken at this point. Okay. So this is how you take a snapshot of your OS disk. The process is quite similar, or it's exactly the same process for data disk. Only the difference is this is OS disk and that is data disk. Okay. So where do you find your snapshots? You go here. Okay. You click on snapshots. You should see your snapshots. Okay. Just click on refresh and you should be able to see it. Okay. So this is my snapshot. Okay. This is my snapshot. Using this, I can either create a new disk, okay, or copy the existing snapshot. Okay. I want to show you guys one thing here. So basically this is my machine, right, for which I have taken snapshot. Okay. This is the machine for which I have taken snapshot, right? So 1 minute. Let me show you the file explorer. Okay. So this is my C drive. This is my temporary storage. This is my R drive. Okay. So in C drive, I have all these packages, perflogs, program files, user, Windows and Windows Azure. Okay. So all these I have. So what I am going to do right now is I am going to delete a folder. Okay. Or I will create a new test folder. Okay. There was no folder called test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called test. Okay. And here what I'll do is I will create another snapshot of that particular disk. Okay. So go to disks. Okay. Go to this particular disk again, AV set OS disk, and click on create snapshot. Okay. So AV set OS disk snapshot number 2. Okay, that was earlier one was the first snapshot, the second one is this. So basically I am creating two snapshot, one before adding the test file, the other one after adding the test file. Okay, so click on create. Okay, I have created two disks. Okay, two snapshots. Okay, now I will create the disk. So let us wait for a minute. uh, let's go to snapshots. Already I have one snapshot. So what I'll do is I'll create a disk out of it. Okay. So I'm going to call it snapshot one disk. Okay. It is coming from the snapshot one. So I'm going to call it snapshot one disk. It is automatically identified that this is an OS snapshot. You see here, it is locked with Windows. Okay. So this automatically identifies whether it is a OS snapshot or a data disk snapshot. Okay. So that is the cool thing about it. So I'm creating a disk out of the snapshot. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to do this for this. Okay. So I'm going to create another disk from the second snapshot. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. So the second disk I'm going to create. So this is from snapshot 2. Okay. From snapshot 2, I'm creating this particular disk. Click on review and create. You guys have followed till now what I have done, or do you want me to repeat the steps which I've done just to explain? Clear, right? Yes, no.
Hello, sir.
Yep. Okay.
For every file, we need to create a snapshot, sir.
No. I'm just showing you a demo. What exactly happens. So depending on your organization, what time they need. Let's say they need every day at 6 p.m. You take a snapshot at 6 p.m. every day. Depending on when they require, you're going to do that.
After creating snap, we need to create again disk. Is it right, sir?
No, I'm just showing you that that option is there. You can store the
Uh,
snapshot. When something goes wrong in the future, then you can create a disk, because snapshots are cheaper compared to disks. Understood?
for protecting snap, we need to create another disk.
No. Snapshot is like a copy. It's like a Xerox copy. Let's say you have a document. You take Xerox copy, right? You take Xerox
Uh,
copy and keep it somewhere. So that is like the snapshot. And once you want to use that Xerox copy and make it original, that is like creating the snapshot and creating a disk out of it.
yes, now I got.
That's it.
Akash, actually, it is like that. Some types of disk backups are available in Windows, no, like that only, no.
Yes, it is pretty much going to use the same thing. Yeah, VSS writers.
Okay, okay.
Before one confusion is there, Akash, that
Yeah,
something
Karthik.
mirroring and RAID 5, RAID 3, if like that confusion is there, disk, so it will be backup, no? Mirroring OS backup,
It is.
RAID 5.
Yeah. That is not going to matter here.
Okay, but Azure giving snapshot for data backup. If it something goes wrong, you can restore.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you're talking about storage spaces.
Yeah.
Storage space is a different concept. That is only with respect to Windows, but this is on a platform side which the backup is taken.
Okay.
So if something goes wrong, you can recover from here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this availability set. Okay. And I am going to first show you how to detach a disk. Okay. So this is my data disk. I no longer want it. So I go here, I put on this X mark, I click on save. So basically I am detaching this from my server. That is the first thing. So I go back here to a F5, that is gone. That particular thing is gone. Okay. Second thing, I am going to attach an existing disk. Okay. So will I find it here? Let's see. Yeah. So this is from Snapshot. I'll first choose this. Okay. And another one which I'm going to put is this. Okay. So this is from the Snapshot 1 disk and this is from Snapshot 2. Okay. And I'm going to attach this onto this particular VM. Okay. Once done, let's go here. Let's just wait for this to appear here. Yes, it is here. So what I can see is I can see one disk of 127 GB capacity. Okay. And there should also be another one of 127, which is yes, both are here. Both are in offline state. I will make it online. Okay. I'm going to make it online. And yes, this is attached. This is going to be okay. Fine. This is done. Okay. So what I have done is this is my F drive and G drive. Okay. So if I see here, the F drive is having the folder called test. Okay. I hope G will not have. Yes. So F drive is from the snapshot 2, wherein I have taken the snapshot after creating the test folder. Okay. And the other one is from snapshot 1, which was taken before I created the test folder. Okay. You see the difference? You can also, one more thing you need to notice here, you can also add the OS disk as data disk onto another VM. That is also possible. That is also shown in this particular example. So this was the OS disk, but I'm able to attach it as a data disk. Okay. So always remember we can very well do that. Okay. So another option which I want to show you guys is there is an option to swap the OS disk. Okay. Let's say you have a disk, OS disk, and you want to swap it with the existing virtual machine. Okay. You can very well do that as well. Okay. So go to the swap OS disk. Okay. And I am going to choose snapshot 1 disk. Okay. Snapshot 1 disk wherein there is no test folder. Note there is no test folder on that particular thing. Okay. This one has test folder because I made the changes. The snapshot 1 disk should not or does not have the um test folder. So I'm going to put the VM name. It's asking for putting the VM name. I'm just choosing the disk which I want to swap it to. Okay. Once done with that, okay, the virtual machine will be stopped. Okay. The VM will be stopped and then the OS disk will be swapped. Okay. The OS disk will be swapped. So basically I am swapping the operating system disk in order. So if something goes wrong in the future, this is how you're going to restore it. You're going to take a snapshot. Using that snapshot, you'll create the disk. Using that disk, you will just swap it when something goes wrong in the future. Okay. This is the whole idea, whole purpose behind having a snapshot. Are you guys clear with this? Guys,
This is like making ghost like that. Am I correct?
Ghost?
Ghost making ghost image of Windows OS and all we are doing now in desktops like that
Like
only.
hardening.
Yeah, like that. Like
Hard.
that.
Yeah,
Uh,
correct. Correct. So basically you can use it in the future.
okay.
That is why. I don't understand what is ghost, but yeah. You can use this snapshots in the future use as well. Like if something goes wrong, you can use the snapshot and recover it.
Okay.
Okay. And I have one question now. Okay. While it's happening, just let me know the new VM. Okay. Whatever, when we turn on the VM, there's no new VM. When we turn on the existing VM, will the test folder be there or not there? Test folder will be there or not?
It will not be.
Karthik, Dilip, your answers.
The test folder, it will be not there.
Okay. Dilip, your answer. Dilip, are you there?
Yes, there.
Yeah. Will it be there or not?
I don't know.
Did you not understand? Like, or just try to analyze. Okay. Just try to analyze what we did. Okay. And just let me know whether it will be there or not.
Okay.
What did we do? Are you there?
Oh, yes, sir, I am there.
Yeah. What did we do till now?
Till now, we created a data disk,
Mhm.
OS disk,
Mhm.
and we created one snapshot.
Okay. After that,
Uh, and recovering the data using Snap.
okay. And after that,
After, I don't know.
you are not there, is it?
I am there, but
Okay, we swapped the OS disk. Okay, we swapped the OS disk with the snapshot. Okay, so we chose a disk, and from which disk we wanted to do, we just swapped it. Okay, so we chose snapshot one disk. Okay, and we just gave it, and that is getting swapped right now. So when I am going to turn on the virtual machine, okay, what is going to basically happen is, um, it's taking time. What is basically going to happen is I will have a virtual machine without the test folder. Okay, because it was created from the snapshot before I created the test folder. Okay, so that is the answer.
okay.
Yeah, okay, guys. So you can start doing this. Okay, I have a small demo for you guys, which you can try. So basically, what you'll have to do is, I want you guys to be creating two virtual machines. You already have it. Okay, VM1 and VM2. Okay, VM2. It's a very small task. It's just an extension of what we actually did. Okay, so you're going to create two data disks. Okay, so one is data disk 1 and the other one is going to be data disk 2. Okay, so this is the first part of the task. You're going to create a 4 GB disk, 4 GB disk. You're going to attach to VM1 and VM2 respectively. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to pick the OS disk of VM1. Okay, so you're going to pick the OS disk of VM1, create a folder called test1. Okay, create a folder of test1, and you're going to pick VM2, go to the OS disk of VM2. You are going to create a folder called test2. Okay, at the end of the day, what you're going to do is, okay, I want you guys to analyze and think this very clearly. Okay, I want VM1 to have the OS disk of VM2 and VM2 to have the OS disk of VM1. Okay, so that is pretty much what I need here. VM1, finally, what it should have? VM1 should have OS disk, OS disk VM2, OS disk of 2, and the other one should have VM2 should have OS disk of VM1. So I am not saying that it should be the exact same disk. Okay. What I mean here is the data. It should be the same data. That means if I open VM1, I should be able to see that, okay, I am able to see test folder 2, which was part of this particular VM. Okay. And if I open this particular VM, I should be able to see test folder 1. Okay. This is pretty much what I want. So we have discussed the concepts which are required for you to do this particular thing. Okay, just give it a try. You can start doing it right away. Okay, and you can just start with adding of data disks. Okay, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me here. Okay, so this is the concept for today. And before you guys start doing, I want you guys to understand one more concept. The concept is, what are the different types of disks which are available? Okay, so you have basically three types of disks available, in four actually, in Azure. Okay, one is premium SSD, standard SSD, standard HDD. Okay, so can anyone tell me SSD is better or HDD is better?
SSD,
SSD, reason being?
because SSD will be very faster than HDD.
Correct. So how do you measure speed in like disk speed?
This speed, no, I don't have idea.
Okay, it's just how much data that will be transferred, how much input and output it can process in a second. That is called IOPS, input output per second. Okay, so what is the data which it can handle, how quickly it can react, how quickly it can copy? All these things are the factors which are going to affect on your disk performance, which is basically SSD is the best, HDD are the second best. Okay, so when you talk about these three, okay, a premium SSD is the top quality disk on Azure. Premium standard SSD is the second best, and standard HDD is the third best. Apart from that, if you want to have a even higher configuration, you have something called Ultra Disk. So basically, it goes this way: Ultra Disk is the topmost. Okay, this has like the highest configuration, and then you have premium SSD. Okay, premium SSD, and you have standard SSD, and you have standard HDD. Okay, so based on that, the rates will be higher. Ultradisk will have the highest rate, and this will have the least rate. Okay, so this is how you are going to basically look into this as a from a performance standpoint and from a price standpoint. Ultradisk is the best disk, and the standard HSD is the least best. And when you talk about the rate, this is going to be the cheapest and this is going to be the costliest. Okay, so this is with respect to the disks. Are you guys clear with this?
Yes.
Yeah, clear.
Okay,